Now, how can you start? Now, I believe that first of all, you need to have a reason. Because if you don't have the reason, good, solid reason why you want to succeed, it's very difficult to do it. Now, and your reasons could be different. I'll tell you my reason, and it's kind of a kid's reason. Sometimes we have Russian guys who sit in the audience. This guy, when I was a kid, I was watching his TV program, and it was something like Discovery Channel. In Russia at that time, you had 2 channels only, and 2 programs a week for kids. One of them, this Discovery Channel.
Do you have callers in Russia?
Huh?
Do you have callers in Russia?
No, it's here in Australia here. This guy knows Australia more. He's actually a citizen here, but kind of, you know, when they grant you citizenship. Because he did so much research about Australia, more than any Australian scientist here did.
Oh.
He was here in the 60s, and first trip he was traveling like everywhere and discovering all this. He's a very, very well-known scientist. So I was watching him and I wanted to do the same. I wanted to travel, I wanted to see the world, and probably that's why I ended up in Australia eventually, okay? But the interesting thing about it, that it came true. I traveled. When I had my business in Ireland, I was traveling in Europe. I was spending all my money. I didn't have any money left after, like, I was traveling. So I make 10K, I spend 10K. I make 20K, I spend 20K. That was my lifestyle. When I learned investment, I understood it, that you have to invest and spend less than you make. It changed my life, because despite I made so much money, I had 0 in my bank account at the end of the month. Okay, of course, I bought some properties in Russia and in Ireland, but I could buy much, much more. I didn't know the strategy. Now, when I set up this mindset of investor, I understand that my money can work for me, because at that stage I didn't know it. I thought, okay, money is just the means of living, and that's what I was doing. Now, with my son, I calculated, and I visited probably 35 countries so far, so it's pretty good, right? And in some countries I went multiple times. Next, in 3 weeks' time, we're going to Taiwan. Never went there. Just waiting. Our friend getting waiting. So we thought, why not to go for a week and see like their own wedding, like never seen Taiwanese wedding. So could be cool, interesting, right? Experience.
How much you invested? How much you invested?
First time, $5,000.
No, but now.
It's private information, but keep it quiet. Okay, so now, but it's enough to live on.
Oh,
that's
5 billion.
So that's the thing. Now, but I'll tell you, you don't have to. I have one student, one of the first students here in Australia, the guy. He was from Nepal. With his wife, they went through education. 4 months later, he moved back to Nepal. He said, look, we're making about $7,000 each. They're kind of top accountants in their firm. And they didn't want to have kids here. They didn't like it. They wanted to go back. They're family people, and they wanted to go back to their family. But they said, there is no way to make money in Nepal. When the first time, they had about $300,000 saved. When the first month, they got something like 10K. They said, you know what, with 10K, living in Nepal will be like kids.
Yeah.
You know, so that's it. So 4 months, they were doing income, they like it, they moved back.
So they invested 300,000.
Something like that. Maybe more, I don't know. I knew that first transaction was 300,000.
And that's a big risk, right?
Yeah.
Putting 300,000.
But
it's a lot of money.
when he learned this system, he was an accountant. He said, you know what, Igor, every day in my account is money for other people. And I know if it is a good company or not. I never thought to implement it. For him to analyze companies, it's like
Yes.
he
Balance sheet, they
he
can
does
read
it
the
on a
balance
daily
sheet.
basis. You know, straight away. He knows when the company is dodgy or not dodgy. So that's what is it for him. So these guys, for me, for example, I went to Fiji. I was living in Ireland at the time. So as you go from Ireland to Fiji, it's like other part of the planet. It's exactly 12 hours difference. If you put something through the earth, it would be just on another part. And I remember I met this guy, Fijian, and he invited me to his house. And so I had to go somewhere. And another Irish girl was there with me. And she said, "Are you crazy? Didn't you hear that they eat people?" You know, something like that. And she was really scared. She wouldn't go. But I went there. I mean, I really enjoyed the local lifestyle. Now, I imagine that's all the furniture they have. This carpet, nothing more. They have no doors. They have no tables. Nothing. They sleep on it, they eat on it. That's how they live.
On island.
Fiji. That's
So
Fiji.
but how he make his living?
He works in a hotel,
Okay.
this guy, but the level they get paid so little. That's their lifestyle. That's it. He is the only provider for his family. So when you see something like that, I really think we are lucky that we can live the lifestyle we want, like travel and things. They never dream about it, you know,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
about something like
But
that.
that's not a good lifestyle. What's wrong in that lifestyle? You know, they're happy. I sleep liking on the sir. I like sleeping on the floor because it's hard and it's level. I'm not very comfortable on the bed.
You see, it's a good thing about kind of not to have a lifestyle, but to choose the lifestyle you want.
Oh yeah. But they
It's
can't.
great when you choose to live like that, and
Yeah.
you can do it. But if you choose different, you can choose and live different. That's the key. So it's some people, I don't want to have this car. They can afford this car. If they want to have this car and they can have a car, but then they choose to buy another one, that's another thing, right? So, oh, I don't want to travel. I don't want to travel, or I can travel different things.
Option when you lose the option, you know.
Okay, so that's yeah. So in any way, here in Turkey, we had to jump. Has anyone jumped before? No. Funny thing, we came, never saw the mountain that high. Like for me, like from the flat island to came to Turkey, where this huge mountain, 2,000 kilometers, or 2 kilometers high cliff, you know, and we started taking pictures. And the next thing, everyone jumped already, and only 3 of us left taking, you know, so selfies. And the guy, the Turkish guy, saying, "Okay, guys, let's jump." And I said, "Is it going to be a training?" He said, "Yeah, sure. Like, put your legs here, you know, so close, you know." And she said, "Now run." And I said, "And what to do after that? Can you explain the process?" He just run. And I said, and I realizing that I'm running towards the cliff, and he's like, "Run!" And at this moment, I look at my friends, and they're running faster, and their parachute started to lifting up, and mine still on the ground, like boom, boom, boom. And I realize if I don't run fast enough, my parachute is not going to be opened. So, and all these feelings, you know, something new and exciting, but fear at the same time. And I just started running fast, and you know, this cliff was approaching. So that and emotions you feel, it's just crazy. And then I jumped. Probably the level of adrenaline which I had at this moment is probably, you know, you have to several years to have. And then 45 minutes, peaceful flight, absolutely amazing.
What happens if you jump without the parachute being open? Does it open when you
Just fell there
in the
and
free
died.
fall?
Fell there and died.
I think it's going to open during the free fall.
No,
Is it?
no,
Yeah.
So that's
no.
a big risk then.
100% risk. So that's the
Better to
key.
invest in the stock market.
So
That's
Just
life
like
risk. That's a life risk.
Can you put a brake when the parachute doesn't open?
and actually after that, a few days later, I found out that 2 French guys fell there, broke their like something.
They're gonna die because they don't explain properly.
Yeah,
They
that's
should-
why they
should
started,
explain how
he
to
started
run and
shouting
how
at me,
fast you
run, you know. So the only thing I was trying to get him training, he said, "Nija, just run, you know,
Just run.
just run." Okay, so that's the thing. Now I don't do any more crazy stuff like that.
Cowboy way.
Usually now it's peaceful. Probably the dangerous stuff which I do is diving and skiing. We probably go this weekend for skiing to snow mountains. And yeah, so it's nice. That's snow mountains as well. We try to go every year there. Of course, in Russia when we go in winter time, so it's perfect mountains there as well to ski. But at the moment, I just relax. Okay, my lifestyle is different than 10 years ago. Okay, we go, we do meeting friends. That's actually a few of my students. This guy, he's my student. He lives in Bali. He's Russian. He moved there with 2 kids. Enjoy his lifestyle and everything. You know, so that's another one. Every time when I go to Thailand, I enjoy massage.
Oh, lovely massage.
It's $7. I mean,
Oh,
It
yeah,
just-
very cheap, yeah.
it's just unbelievable. You know, here I have to go.
300 baht, you
Like
like
a-
1 hour. Like.
That's actually my place in Ireland where I lived. You see this? It's a river here. I lived across a waterfall.
It's
Just
frozen.
if I open the window, you can't hear anything. It's just so noisy. I live in front of waterfall. Beautiful location. That's my girl. You know, beautiful Russian girl as well. So everywhere is with me. She's already trying to call me and asking when I'm going to get home. So last Christmas, if you remember, it was raining here. we're sitting, and Dasha, she's still working. She is a teacher, English teacher. And she told, I don't want to spend my holiday just sitting in the rain. So I said, okay, fine, where are we going? So we took, we rolled pieces of paper because we couldn't decide where to go. We just rolled pieces of paper, Bali, Thailand, Vietnam, Russia, all these countries, put them in a circle, just closed our eyes, turned around, pointed. And next evening, we already were in Bali. So we just bought a ticket. So it was 2 o'clock when we decided, 4 o'clock we already purchased ticket, 8 o'clock in the morning we flew, 6 o'clock in the evening we already went in Bali, or something like that, so the time difference. And that's it. So we spent a beautiful Christmas there. I met my student who lives there as well. Went to shaman, she's doing some rituals there. Very cool. I never experienced something like that, so for health. Supposed to be good, I don't know, I didn't feel anything, but some people do. So really, really amazing. So that's how I wanted to live my life before, and investment gave me this choice. That's the thing. That's for me, that's my reason. For your reason would be different. Maybe you want to spend more time with your kids. Maybe you want to go back to your home country. Maybe you want to do something like, I knew one girl, she was teaching kids in schools, play piano for free. That was his dream. She was doing it, and she didn't play well, but she could, but she still went and taught them how to do it. And the money was deriving from this strategy. So you decide, first you need to find the reason why you want to achieve it. Okay, and if you write it down, believe me, nobody ever can stop you, never. You will achieve big and great results here. Now, the